Hello guys, today I'm going to do a video on Hogwarts Legacy with the GTX 1060. We're going to be starting it off at 1080p on the lowest settings. So jumping into the settings, and then display, here we have 1080p, TA low, and for graphics, the lowest preset. There we go. And we're going to be going through each preset up to ultra, and then I'm going to optimize the settings and figure out what the optimal settings are for this game and this card. This is the 6GB variant of the 1060, so if you got the 3GB variant, then your performance will be far different to this. Alright, let's go and get started. It's running pretty good, to be honest. 60 to 70 FPS started off. I'm quite pleased with this. There's obviously a couple of flaws with it, like the draw distance and the NPC, I guess, population density. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good and it's running decently well as well, which is good to see. Whoa, look at the birds, whatever they're called. They're just flying in slow-mo. Hey, look at the wings. They're just like flapping about in slow-mo. Ow. Got a troll here, I think. Let's fight him. Good time to see how we run during a fight. Yeah, the flame effects normally is the most intensive on your GPU. Right here we're sitting at 30, that's the 30, I mean we're sitting at 50 FPS, oh well it's not good. 47 FPS. Lost pretty much all our performance immediately. Get this guy down. Can I do it again? Alright, yeah, take that. Use the fire effect again. Incendiary. Oh, couldn't dodge. What? Wait. Where did he go? He smacked the ground so hard that he disappeared. Now who are you? That was weird, man. He just disappeared. He just had enough and left. So far the FPS has been ranging between the low 40s up to the mid 60s/70s, which is, I guess, a pretty wide range, but overall it is running quite smoothly. It's just the fighting that's causing our FPS to drop down into the low to mid 40s, occasionally the 50s as well, which isn't ideal, but it wasn't that laggy either, to be honest. It wasn't stuttering or feeling super sluggish. Okay, let's go and fly towards the forest. Where? Look at that, I'm so far away from the forest. Let's go ahead and fast travel near it and move on from there. So I think the forest is in this area. There we go, forward forest, good. I still got it. Again, the game's not stuttering right here, which is good, but the FPS is pretty low. Like the low 50s is not a place you want to be sitting, especially in the lowest settings. But we can use FSR obviously to increase it up to the 60s. And for 1080p, to be honest, it does look quite decent still, so it is definitely usable. There's normally a spider nest in this area, and it is quite intensive. So let's go ahead and come down here into the spider lair. We've got a couple of spiders to fight now. Ooh. You're fighting the wrong wizard, my friend. Yeah, the fire effects are definitely causing our FPS to drop out into the low 50s. What is going on? Ah, there we go. Watch this, ready? We'll come close. Look at that. 52 FPS. And falling from the 60s down to the 50s for a second just feels awful. So overall, the low settings on 1080p is a decent start. It's not a consistent 60 FPS experience, but for the most part, you're going to be sitting in the low to mid 60s. Let's go ahead and enable FSR. I'm going to use the quality preset, and hopefully at that point, we can hold a consistent 60 FPS experience at all times. Let's go into the forest and jump into the settings. Alright, here we are with FSR 2.0, so the quality. Let's jump into it and see what we can do. So far, we are sitting in the high 60s, which is pretty fantastic. But let's go ahead and get into that spider's nest or the spider's lair. And it's not this one, it's somewhere else. Where is it? Yeah, it's straight ahead of us. Let's fly to it.
Abandoned long ago, no doubt.
Abandoned long ago, no doubt. Look how creepy this place becomes as soon as I come here, man. That's gonna drop down.
Off on another adventure,
Mr. Spiders, hello, I'm back. Yeah, the fire effect was pretty intensive. It fell into the mid 60s there. I almost said the low 60s, but no, it was the mid 60s. Ooh. Fire effect again. Look at that, the low 60s there. But at least we're not falling into the 50s. The game feels incredibly smooth still. There's no stuttering that I can feel. And the overall quality looks very close to native 1080p. Maybe slightly blurry at times. No, I misclicked. I'm gonna die now. Keep yourself together. Oh, I'm actually the worst wizard here. You won't kill me. I won't let you. Expelliarmus.
Confringo. Defender. Incendio.
There we go. So we're doing. Whoa. He just flew somewhere else. So, yeah, overall, it is pretty good. We don't really fall into the 50s. Like, why are we falling it now, though? Oh my god. Now we're falling into the 50s again. I don't think this is a GPU issue. I think this is a game issue. Because I was literally right here, flying through this forest at 70 FPS. And now I'm sitting at 50 FPS. I think at native 1080p low settings, we were sitting at 50 FPS. So, FSR is not really doing its job here. So, there's definitely something wrong with the game. I think if I restart the game right now and come back, it will fix it. Alright, let's move on to the medium settings, and hopefully at that point we can also get 60 FPS with FSR. Alright, here we are with the medium settings. Let's jump into it. There we go, TAA high and no FSR. And this is it. Okay. Now we're sitting in the mid 40s, whereas before we were sitting in the low 60s. So we lost around 10 to 15 FPS from the low settings up to the medium settings. And the game overall looks pretty decent, but it doesn't really look massively improved compared to the low settings. So it is an upgrade, but is it really worth losing 20 FPS? Not really. One thing that I forgot to test at the low settings was going indoors. Normally the transition between the outside world to the inside world is kind of choppy and stuttery, but I'll do it now at medium settings. Obviously it won't be the smoothest, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. So FPS should go above 60 FPS indoors, but the initial transition will be very laggy. Yep, it's very stuttery. FPS is going to fall down into the mid 30s. Okay, let's go ahead and head on out and fly back to the Forbidden Forest. Yeah, this area here is just so laggy, man. This initial like room is just so stuttery and laggy. Feels awful. Right here we're sitting at 33 to 34 FPS. Pretty awful still. Right, flying back to the forest now. FPS is definitely doing far worse. That guy just popped in out of nowhere. These dudes are here again, aren't they? Let's show them who's boss. There they are. What do you guys think you're doing here, huh? What do you guys think you're doing here? Watch this, ready? Watch this. Just made them all statues and they just fell off. Fell over. Okay, well, not too bad. The game is feeling, man, it's feeling kind of laggy in this area. Just not the best experience with a keyboard and mouse. Going into the forest, falling down into the low to mid 30s, which is, you know, expected for this card at medium settings. Oh, look at this area here. Whoa, 21 FPS. That is pretty rough, man. Back to the 30s again. Yeah, that was, ooh, 20s again. Back down to the 20s again. My god, this is so bad. What happened? Oh my god, 13 FPS. It's getting worse. 10 FPS. 10 FPS, man. Now, overall, at medium settings without FSR, the game runs around 20 FPS all the way up into the low 40s. It's a mostly decent experience without any major stutters, but as you saw before in the forest, it did get kind of choppy. Okay, now with balanced FSR, we are sitting in the high 50s / the low 60s. Pretty good start, but as you can see around my character's hair, there's a bit of ghosting, I think, that's happening. I'm gonna skip to the daytime because it's kind of hard to see, and we'll see it better there. Okay, here we are during the day. Yeah, you can definitely see the pixelation now for sure. It's very obvious on the leaves of the trees in the distance and around my hair. But the overall clarity is still pretty decent, to be honest. Not bad. That barrel over there is also acting weird as well. I can see through it a little bit. That is pretty bad. But FPS wise, wow, sitting in the high 60s once I land. Pretty good. What if I fly up? Okay, flying up, FPS falls down into the mid 60s. So we lost, what, like 5 to 10 FPS from just flying up. It's definitely far more intensive, but for traveling on this game, you need the broom, or your mount, I guess, if you have that unlocked. I still haven't got mine yet, but that will definitely come in handy. Because it's a massive world, and you can't really just walk everywhere. It will take you forever. So the broom will definitely come in handy, but your FPS will be lower depending on where you are. Let's go ahead and quit out, push it up to the high settings, and disable FSR, and see what we can get over there. Go into the settings, and then graphics. There we go. The high preset. Oh boy. This won't be a stable 30, I'm guessing. We're gonna fall into the 20s probably as I get going. But the game looks fantastic at the high settings. It looks pretty good. I like the look a lot. But FPS wise, the game is feeling quite stuttery and quite laggy. Well, where am I going, man? I'm flying into the trees and stuff. Get this out of here. Yeah, 29 to 30 FPS so far. The stuttering is the major issue. The FPS is fine. You can play at 30 FPS with the controller if you don't like FSR. Going inside. Not too bad actually. It wasn't stuttering that bad. Normally it's far worse. Okay. What's up, dudes? Alright. Whoa, 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 whoa! Okay, well. Oh my god. What is happening here? Must have pissed him off real bad, huh? Okay guys, since we lost that little friend there, I became him, and I'm gonna replace his spot now. So indoors we're gonna be sitting at 30 to 50 FPS. It's pretty good, but again, not the most intensive. What? What happened to you? What are you sitting like that for? Oh. Okay, he's gone. What is going on with this game right now? Is it here? Truly a magical school where nothing makes any sense. And here we are at the Ultra preset, getting 26 FPS near the castle. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised, obviously. This isn't really an Ultra card anymore. But still, let's try it out and see what we can do on average. Right, here we are at the Ultra settings. Calling the broom. Oh, there we go. This feels so choppy at this point. 21 FPS, 19 FPS. Let's go up a bit higher, make it more intensive. Oh my god, look at this. 24 FPS. It's a movie-like experience, you know? It's fine to watch, but not very fine to play. Alright, in the forest we're going to be sitting pretty much at the mid-20s like before. This area is so choppy now. Oh my god, 17 FPS. Yeah man, not really usable at all. But let's enable FSR for the final time. Oh my god, 15 FPS, 14 FPS. So the Ultra setting is going to be sitting at 14 FPS all the way up to the low 30s. Not a great experience at all, but not really surprised. Let's go ahead and optimize the settings and play with that instead. Alright, here we are with the optimized settings. Going to display using balanced FSR. And for graphics, it's a mix of medium and high settings with some set to low. There we go with that. So your overall at the optimized settings, we're going to be sitting in the mid 50s all the way up into the mid 60s. The game looks fantastic, but if you don't like the FSR look, you can obviously disable it and play at a lower frame rate. But again, with FSR, we're going to be sitting pretty much at 60 FPS for the most part. Now, if you want to get a bit more performance without using FSR, go ahead and lower the render distance and the population density. That normally gives me around 5 to 10 FPS, but bringing it down to lower medium. Alright, I think that's about it guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Hogwarts Legacy. See you guys there.